And we've got a good one on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. They've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, they come in off a loss last time out, but they've been playing better than 500 ball the last couple months. 5 wins in their last 8 games. Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. This will be taken in at the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. And a glance here at the man calling the... under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on. We know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator say right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. 2nd and 13. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
To throw on 3rd down. Hits. And he will not be able to hang on to the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And here are the Browns for their opening drive. And a glance here at their quarterback standing 6'3".
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering some
snacks. I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Well, it was 2nd and long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. They'll set up to throw. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back.
Down. 8, read.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Good shot, baby. That's a baby shot.
Let go.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they march off another 15 against your squad.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line. Time to roll through the starters defensively for Cincinnati. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
And stopping the run, that's been an issue for them all season long. Aren't you glad that you're not coaching the defense right now?
I'm very glad. They said that they've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent. It's down in and down out, being able to play it, understand what you have to get done, and finally stop some people, put them on the ground.
Squeeze.
Now a give, right side. Travis. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away. Had
just the one big play on the drive, but that was enough to put him in field goal range.
Yeah, one big play of what they hope will be many others throughout the game. Every team has a different target for the number of plays like that, those explosives that we talk about. That allowed him to put points on the board on that drive. We'll see how the rest of the game goes.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC. As we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
Yeah, exciting for us because we get to talk about it, and, you know, at the end of the day, 6 teams are going to go from each conference, and guess what? We're going to have a playoffs. But nerve-wracking for all the people involved, all the teams, because their goal is to get there. And anything less than that makes the season a disappointment. So this is they've got to be primed now for a big finish to their season.
Now Joe Mixon. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A gain there of 21 yards.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. We're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrinkle and a hold on that quicker.
Yeah, you're exactly right. What's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete. Here now the offense for the Bengals.
Out of the backfield is Joe Mixon, and he was a valuable commodity coming out of the University of Oklahoma because of his ability to be so versatile. Can run it inside with power, gets to the perimeter and can outrun people, catches the ball not only out of the backfield, but you can split him out just like he would be a receiver. And I think that if he wanted to dedicate himself, he'd be an all-pro kick returner.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Zach Ertz, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bengals have taken the lead. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here.
And oh, it's blocked. Picked up by the offense. This is a live ball.
They don't want it, boys. They don't want it. They don't want it.
Following the botch PAT, they're set to kick this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
Ready.
2nd and 1. And he will find his man on the outside. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
On first down, Travis. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
On 2nd down, Travis.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On 3rd down, Pitts. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 6-3 is our score after 1. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
On the ready.
I got one. Whip. Watch the whip. Check the backer.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Big yardage there for the Browns, 18.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And he's got his man on the out route. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
50 seconds, come on. Watch one.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Throwing right, and that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. It is caught at the 7-yard line. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. A 5-yard touchdown. And once again, the Browns are back in front. An out route there for the score. A quick out route there for the score.
Yeah, you're not really surveying the defense on this one. You're just counting on timing, making this play happen. 1-2, ball's out of his hands. Knows where he's going, just puts it to the outside. Touchdown.
Austin Seibert on for the extra point. And he's got it as the lead is now 10-6. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it's capped off by the Browns touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So now the Bengal offensive unit back out onto the field.
53, Mike.
On 1st and 10, Hicks. And he'll find his target, Woods. It's complete. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's a 2nd and 7. Caught by the tight end, Ertz.
And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. And this is Ertz with it, right side. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Fielded at the 20. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now a give, right side. Travis. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, that was a safety that came through and made the play, but there's no doubt in my mind, he hits like a linebacker, and we see a lot of that in today's NFL, don't we?
And that time we do indeed. A big hit for a loss. They're going to look to throw. Incomplete. He had his hands on it, but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Bengals will take over here, 1st and 10. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Looking to throw. Hicks. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a first down. Back to throw. Hicks. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there and stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new-school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Gets it off to Freeman. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, this from 37. Seibert able to knock this one through. And that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. they're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Set 70, Indy. Go.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Throwing on first down. Hicks. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
So when you have good field position to start a drive and you give up back-to-back sacks, that can be demoralizing for a team.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Looking to throw. Hicks. And that is incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. They'll set up a throw. He's going to launch. This is caught at the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Back-to-back plays of right around 30 yards, and the field position has totally been flipped. And that's now 2 big catches on this drive for him.
You know, the NFL keeps talking about the possibility of using video for coaching on the sidelines. That's not approved yet, but you can still use pictures. They've got to send his picture down to their defense and say, you see him? Cover it.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Now back to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Freeman. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. He'll look to throw. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. From 4 yards out. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. but I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43, and they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And the Browns getting set to go. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
You don't see me in your nightmares, son. Look at me. Go.
They'll keep it on the ground. Travis. And he is going to be close to a 1st down as the tackle made at the Bengals 34.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Ready to go. 5.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, it didn't look his way at all in the first half. And I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
So 3 field goals that he's hit. Now this last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
On 3rd down, Hicks. This is Ertz on the pitch and catch. And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the 1st down.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Back to throw. Hicks. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. Give him 30 yards there. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll stay on the ground, mixing again. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some drop.
A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Browns drive about to get started. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Check nine, check nine.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Drop deep, drop deep.
On second down now, Travis, and able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. That's good for a Cleveland first down and 11-yard pickup.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They'll drop the throw. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down. This quarterback now, perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. They're down here in the fourth, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
Now a give, right side. Travis. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And all the way down to the 25-yard line. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Let's go. 60 outlaw.
Right. He's tight right here. He's tight right.
Now a play fake here on first down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise or throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back dropped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
Defense.
So give them the yardage on the pass and half the distance to the goal line.
Because they're inside the 30, so now you don't march off the full 15, right? You have half the distance to the goal. In any event, that's precious real estate given up.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a first and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal.
I don't know about you, Brandon, but I often think to myself, in these situations, I want a back who can create his own space, who can break tackles, and in a sense, become his own blocker. We don't have that guy in the game right now.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
Here's another second and goal, this time from half the distance closer. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB...
And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and the lead is now 24. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And I tell you, 4 weeks still to go, and everything is wide open, and it's fun.
And I know we always talk about, well, if the playoffs were to begin today, and then we kind of go, okay, but they're not. Let's see how it plays out. Wouldn't it be fun to play with this playoff lineup right now? Because to me, just about anyone can win this whole thing out of this grouping we currently have. And by the time we get there, it may look entirely different.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw again. Hits. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Pressure gets there, and he goes down. Now there's also a flag, but this might be on the offense anyway. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. Back to throw here. This throw caught right around the 6. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set them up 1st and goal. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they...
And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. From 3 yards out, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Looking to throw. Hicks, and that's incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still
under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
They can't stop him. They cannot hold us down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Fielded at the 43. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. The Browns offense heading out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. As of this moment, as pretty much everyone knows, they sit alone in that top spot, but nothing is guaranteed. They haven't even clinched the playoffs, so a good start, but a long way to go.
And you know a blunt veteran inside their locker room has stood up at one point or another and said, you know.
Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Carl Lawson with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
On 2nd down, Travis. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield. A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to him here on 3rd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away. Going right side here, and that's complete. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Oh, yeah. And here we go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with the lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on 1st down. They did that plus 3.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. So Cleveland able to come away with the victory here, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
so for the Browns, the win moves them to 12-1 now on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they can ill afford to drop too many more as they fall to 7-6 on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.